Here we are with another topic, communicative approach to English language teaching, and myself Manmeet Bali, senior lecturer in English, Department of School Education, Government of Jammu and Kashmir. Students, communicative approach to English language teaching is based on learners' need in real life, that is everyday language which we use, we brush the knowledge, we update the things, and we learn all the four skills, that is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. We can start it from the very beginning. We can facilitate the process of learning, as our learning is always child centered, student oriented, and the role that teacher and pupil play in this kind of communicative approach to our English learners, English language learners. Communication is an interactive process in which we reach each other, isn't it? It is the effective interaction between two or many individuals. Through communication, we share our ideas, opinions, experiences, and whatnot, knowledge. So, the process that English language teaching focuses on the teacher being a facilitator, we are the providers, and you are the receivers, you are at the other end, right? The essential components of communication are three essential components, that is sender, receiver, and the feedback. And the interpretation comes out of all these three main role players, right? And the feedback, definitely, it is also in the shape of some writing or the replies which we get. What is communication? Communication is the sender who communicates, it's the listening, it is the message, media, internet, it's through phone, it's through email, chat, announcement, conversation, discussion, website, television, whatnot. We are in an era of communication, and these days, effective communication needs effective skills which can be developed like any other skill, right? So, when we talk of effective communication skills, they come from eye contact and visible mouth, which can be heard. See, if I am audible to you and you cannot see my face, still I'm communicating, and maybe you're nodding or you're listening, you're putting in some expressions, your body language is there. Then sometimes some people are silent at the other end, but still, effective communication takes place. Even you're keeping it in your mind, still you are communicating through indirect means. Then checking for understanding, whether you've understood or not, I will check it, and that will also enable me to know that how effective my communication skills have been, right? Then encouragement to continue. If you say, well done, ma'am, you give me a thumbs up, or you comment, or you talk to me, that means that is an encouragement to continue. And summarizing what has been said, sometimes teachers tell you, okay, summarize, did you understand, tell me in your own words. And when you tell, that is also effective communication. So effective communication takes place when you listen carefully, when you understand, when you remember the things, you put it in your mind, okay, you put it in the knowledge bank, and then when practice it, oral or in written, right? So it's duly noted here that a language teacher cannot limit himself or herself only to textbooks. We cannot, limit ourselves to only textbooks. It could be the opportunity which we give to the learners. It could be very interesting when different modes of learning are talked about through television, videos, YouTube these days. It could be a newspaper, recorded telecast, or a radio report. The more variety, the more interesting, right? So the aids at our command are numerous, but the only thing is, what makes us effective? What makes us so effective that our children understand it? What is the communicative intercourse that we are dealing with? Okay, So, seven major elements of communication process are the sender, I'm sending you the ideas which you recollect, encoding, okay, that is the ideas which I have, I want to bring it across you. My communication channel is my mobile, is my YouTube channel. Receiver, you are the receiver, you decode it, you open the link, okay, and you give me the feedback. That is the elements of communication process. So seven elements, right? And then encoding and decoding. I have explained it diagrammatically that a communication environment is set in such a way that sender and receiver, through the message, through the channel medium, they encode and then they decode with varieties of expressions, with variety of ranges at the understanding level of the student or the learner. And when it comes to assessing them, that is their response, whether the receiver has understood. So it could be in an environment which is quiet, whether that was a congenial atmosphere, which channel did we use, was the learning process a resource that was not a criticism, but it was activity based? Was it a language based? Was it a simple communication skill oriented program? So all these things come step by step when child learns or when a student learns. It depends on the steps, the age as he progresses in life. So the elements of a communication process are the sender, okay, you are talking to somebody, you are sending the message, the medium, you can see in this picture it's a mobile, the receiver, you get a tingle, then you receive the message. So what are the means? Even in a classroom situation, when you are in a class, the teacher talks to you. So what are the commanding aids that we have? That are the blackboard, that is the chalk. And when you are in a language lab, that means you have a audio recorder, you have a video recorder, and you have cassettes, and you have many kind of movies which are shown to you in your ICT lab. So these are the basic elements. And our primary goal when we talk of communicative approach to English language teaching is that fluency should not give importance to the correctness, but it should give an opportunity to the learners, right? Fluency is important, very important, but it should give an opportunity to the learners, ignoring the correctness. It's not that you have to be grammatically perfect. You could be partially correct, and incomplete utterances could not be taken so seriously. So that means you are encouraged. The interaction with the students is that some activity, some struggle is put to them so that they accept the language and they come out with the primary goal, that is fluency. So our ultimate goal is communicative competence. How to improve your English communication skills? Think before you speak. What am I going to speak? Am I going to speak on that topic? It shouldn't be wrong. Practice with others, practice with TV channels, practice with your brothers, sisters, practice with the newspaper, read something, try to come out with some sounds, gestures. Don't just learn words, learn your sentences too. Only words won't suffice. Learn your sentences too. Focus on fluency. Don't rush when you speak. It shouldn't be in a hurried way. Don't run out of follow-up questions. So you don't have to run, as if somebody's after you. Don't run out of follow-up questions. The questions which are coming to you through teacher, through any source after your session is over. So you try to reply. That means that you are having a proper approach to your English language teaching. Your communication has been effective. This is a skill which teacher can assess when these points are keeping with the pace of the learners, right? So why is communicative English necessary? Strengthening your communication skills in English is necessary and is a powerful tool See, in order to get the best start in a student's life, that is effective communication and the way of learning as it makes for most exciting classes, a nice change from the typical classroom and textbooks. The quality of communicative language teaching is all dependent on a teacher. A teacher will need to make the material as motivating and as a creative source as they can, so that the learners find their tasks meaningful and see the value. So it is all on the language which we are dealing, that is English, and it includes different areas. It should be simple, it should not be hyperbole, there should not be any kind of communication gap. And when we see that our class has heterogeneous atmosphere, errors should be taken as a positive response, because children know that they will learn. After committing mistakes, they'll improve upon. And when we are dealing with language, spoken part, classroom activities used in communicative language teaching include the following: role play. Fine. When we teach a lesson, we can, divide the roles to the children, and that will also help in developing that speaking power, that communicative power, and that language which they want to learn will come automatically to them through interviews. They'll learn how to speak to others, they'll wait for the answers. Interviewing part is also very good activity. Then information gap is that when the learner has some time to think over, that gap also gives him an insight into the communicative language teaching. Then language exchanges: when you talk English to English, you exchange, you appear for the interviews. Then surveys, definitely when you survey, that is at a progressed level. Then pair work is very important in primary classes. You make the children work in pairs and they'll come out with beautiful responses, they'll come out with excellent work. And learning by teaching, and when you teach, you learn, definitely. See, we as teachers, we learn from you. All these things which we are discussing here, it has all come from you, because we come to know that our learners need these things. That's why we are learning by teaching you. So communicative approach, we come to know that where we lack and where our children need to have that stronger bond when they learn a language. So in pairs, you can see how children, focus on little things, jointly they do the things, and see how happy they are. So it is fun-filled activity. It is never that kind of serious thing which we make children go from one course to another. So language is the best means of communication. And students, when you participate, I think your competence becomes more interesting, and it gives us a feedback as to how we can work out with different patterns to make you all that kind of language skills implemented through various means for your benefit in these times of learning and disseminating our knowledge, right? So, drill of language is very important. In the end, communicative approach to English language teaching, I put it in one sentence, that it is the drill of the language. So, drill the language, grill the language, and thrill the language. Thank you.